Hello, everyone. This is Susan Downs, Cargos with Welcoming America, and we're really pleased to be able to provide this webinar resource for you on hosting Welcoming Week in 2016. This is the first time that Welcoming America will be helping with events outside of the United States. We're very excited that many of you in Germany will be helping us with the first Welcoming Week Germany ever. So we wanted to pull together some resources for you to help you get started. You may remember that as part of being part of the exchange, you've all agreed to host an event in your city this year, this September, that will bring together immigrants, refugees, and the receiving community. To help you get started thinking about these possibilities and about these different events, today's speakers are here for you. So I will turn the floor now over to Kieran Bon-Dormangy, who will share more about Welcome Week and what it entails.
I'm glad to be able to have an even wider audience for Welcoming Week. Recently we've been National Welcome Week, and this is the first year, thanks to your participation, that it'll be a global project, a global campaign to lift up the contributions that newcomers make to communities across the world. And this is the 5th year that we've hosted it, and it's always in September, and it's a series of events where communities bring together new and long-term residents in this community to raise the benefits of welcoming everywhere. Today I will give you a little bit of highlights, the goals of Welcoming Week, tips on creating that bring together new community partners so that we can learn about each other and celebrate the spirit of welcomingness. And I have a couple of tools, and then we also have a guest speaker today who will share their experience in their community having an event during Welcome Week. And Cynthia Schaab is the Executive Director of Global Friends Coalition, so excited to have someone to give you on-the-ground experience, and then also I'll give you some further resources afterwards. So to kick us off, let's talk about the goals of Welcoming Week. So our goals are to bring together newcomers, whether they're refugees, high-skilled immigrants that are coming together and building the bridge with long-term residents. And we recognize that immigrants and refugees make our community stronger. And help, we use these events so that we can move beyond divisive politics and sometimes negative media stories that surround immigration. So we had over 245 events in the U.S. with 85 communities involved and 22,000 across the country. So we're hoping to make this year even more expansive, and we're excited to have partners now to kick off Welcoming Week. So new ideas. So Welcoming Week ideas, they range. Some folks have single-day events to multi-day events, and September 16th through the 25th. September 16th is traditionally Citizenship Day, so it's a time to celebrate folks becoming citizens of the U.S. And so some events are focusing directly on that. So there's celebrations around naturalization ceremonies. Also, there are opportunities for people to volunteer and help prepare newcomers to become citizens. So there's a test for citizenship, and some of our projects have made it a celebration. So it's those, and there are events across the country that celebrate this. There'll be similar days and events that make sense to celebrate how they impact the receiving community and welcoming newcomers. It's a time in the United States to celebrate Hispanic heritage, and so throughout the month there are a lot of celebrations already. So it's an opportunity to co-brand existing events and bring new partners to make a larger statement on welcoming. There are also service projects, so folks can take on a garden project, and they work with schools and folks of all different ages. They work with local cultural organizations, So there might be a film screening that might talk about the immigrant experience and use that as a conversation piece to talk about what's an immigrant or what it means to have waves of immigration in folks' communities. Other area that people have events is around engaging champions. And when we say champions, we mean leaders in the community, whether they come from the faith community, local government, or local businesses. So it's a chance to invite folks to learn more about the immigrant experience and have events that talk about topics that are impacting immigrants, such as housing, language access, and so it's an opportunity to involve even further folks. There have been different projects that help those visit new businesses. So there's a tour of businesses that includes things like restaurants, high-tech, low-tech businesses that we can highlight how immigrants have impacted and integrated into communities. And then there's things like games. Here in Atlanta, we've had Fire in the Streets, and I know right now in Europe there's the World Cup, and it could be a great time to have local games that this idea of unity from folks from various horizons. On our website, there's welcomingweek.org. We have a sign up for hosting events. So when you go to welcomingweek.org, you'll see examples of events that I've been talking about, and there are also sign-up forms so that you can list your activities and have promoted on our website. There's also some kits such as hosting welcoming events that have sample ideas in there and a checklist for thinking of things that you need to do in order to make a successful event. So think who your audience is, by individuals to participate and lead events. So you have a clear plan for engaging both the immigrants and communities in planning and the executing of the event. And it's just another way to encourage new relationships. So, for example, you might have a park cleanup where you gather everyone together, explain the direction of how we're going to do this day of cleanup, and have folks break up into small groups and mixing up newcomers with long-term residents so that they can work together and learn a bit about each other, and then also the mission of whatever your organization is, and encourage folks to mingle. Also, the toolkit lets you know about just making a node, advertising on things like social media, whether it's Facebook or other social media that makes sense for the community. Folks also use emails, text messages, and announcements in local papers about their events. And in this toolkit, I have a sample press release that you can adapt for your own community. And after to Welcome Week, we can give you some further language if you'd like that would be a little bit more specific about some themes that are important in the current political climate as we get closer to September 15th, 16th. Besides this toolkit, there's also another toolkit for teachers. So there are 6 different lesson plans, including games and lesson plans focused on language learners that can be used during Welcome Week in the classroom, whether you're working with learners or youth. Other webinars on the website as well that you can listen to where there are some discussions on different tips for hosting. I'll turn it over now to Cynthia Schaap, who's the Executive Director for Global Coalition, which is located in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So excited to have Cynthia here today to talk a little bit about her organization and how she's been involved in Welcoming Week.
I'm excited to be here and talking with you. So Global Run's mission is straightforward. We're working to bring together individuals and organizations to foster integration, to work with new Americans and the greater Grand Forks community. It really is twofold. We work with a lot of new Americans, helping with English language learning and providing friendship, but we also spend quite a bit of our effort helping the greater community embrace and understand new Americans. We're here and what we can do to help. We have three main goals then. So we focus a lot on supporting refugees to become more fluent in English. We got through our in-home mentoring and tutoring programs and classes. We help new Americans become more connected with the community. And then, like I said earlier, we support the community to help them embrace new Americans. So the Welcoming Week is really a great opportunity to merge Americans with greater community. Last year, if you look at the next slide, I think I talk a little bit about our programs. We have three main programs: the Family Mentors and Adult Literacy Program, that's our in-home tutoring mentoring program, youth program working with youth, and then Reach and Advocacy program. So the community picnic falls within our Outreach and Advocacy program, and we rely on volunteers from our Family Mentors and Adult Literacy program to have them invite their families to the picnic, even providing transportation to them. And we work with our youth and invite them to the picnic. We usually have found it more successful to have transportation provided to new Americans, while some volunteers do bring their families, and that's the model we prefer. Now volunteers are able to provide transportation. Some families are large, so getting there is problematic for someone with a car. So we have started to bus. We go around and pick up new American families and bring them to the park, to a local park, kind of in the area closest to the University of North Dakota. So we tap into a lot of students and faculty and administrators there who are willing to volunteer with us. So it's a good time because the school year is really just beginning for the university, and university students are often looking for volunteer opportunities, and so we're always excited to have them come and participate in our picnic as part of this event. We used to do the picnic in the spring. We've moved it to the fall, and we're very happy we did because it then goes well with Welcoming Week. So here we had our most successful picnic that we've had. We have about 200 attendees. We really wanted it to entice. We really wanted to entice new Americans and the general public to come to this event, and found we had to be pretty strategic in getting invitations out. We did a lot on social media, used Facebook, e-invites to the picnic, a lot of phone calling to volunteers to get to come out to the picnic, put an ad in the paper. So we really upped the amount of publicity we were doing. We were pleased. We had about 200 people. We all reached out to an ethnic community here in Grand Forks. There's a pretty strong Norwegian background, and so you'll see on that slide the woman dressed at the top there. The woman is dressed in her traditional Norwegian attire, and we had a pretty good contingency of folks from that community come to the picnic. This year we are hoping to invite American Indians to the picnic, and then from traditional American Indian food. The focus for food with this picnic was ethnic foods. We had Somali cooks and Bhutanese cooks provide us with meals. One was from a restaurant, and the other we cooked in a certified kitchen. Local church was a certified kitchen that the public health had agreed upon, and we had lots of good food, fruit, just any of hors d'oeuvres too to go along with it. We brought in sound system so we could say a few words. I think we'll do a better job with our sound system. We brought in music and people ended up dancing, and we had life-size games, so big games that everybody had a great time playing those. Um, uh, the mayor came. The mayor is actually featured in one of those earlier slides in the red jacket, sitting next to a woman named Dorothea who had gained citizenship, top corner there. And then below that, so the mayor's in the red jacket there, and then below that is a life-size game, and we had lots of interest in that, and they would just take turns playing. We had about 3 different varieties of life-size games. So a great event. We all felt good about it. The picture on the bottom there is a Bhutanese boy eating a sambusa, an American flag. I love the image of that. He's seen a lot in our presentation.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, can you just tell me a little more about it? Sounds like food was a real hit to get folks to get involved and brought together, great cuisine from around the world and just highlighted there in Grand Forks. Talk a little bit more about volunteers. Like, how was it helpful getting, a range of volunteers?
Well, in general, it is difficult for people to just go to a picnic. I mean, that's what the response I get when I talk with the general public. Why would I go to a picnic? And so if you get your volunteers on board who already feel comfortable with a New American family, and then they invite that family, it's a barrier to go to a new place for both new ones and the general public. And so while we might feel have volunteer, invite a new American, it eliminates the barriers for the American to go. It also just, that direct contact with the organization to the volunteer kind of says, this is an important event, we want you there, we'd like to see you there. That's basically why we're doing it.
So there's up to the event that is being the connection at the beginning, and then the actual picnic itself, you have a better turnout. People can get together even further and have deeper relationships.
Right. Without a personal invitation, people tend not to go.
Personal connection. Great. What about the media? Have you had any luck with getting good media coverage for the events? I know the mayor was there, so that was a big coup for the events. It showed that, from different parts of government, people were interested in kind of welcoming the newcomers. But could you talk a little bit about the media?
We did throw out a press release using the template that was provided by America. We in Grand Forks to get press coverage from the newspaper. They're so short-staffed. But they did put it in, and we ran an ad, and we ran it in the calendar of events. I expect we will have TV reporting there. They've been there this year, 2016, already covering our events. So I expect that we will get we are quite intentional about that as well, reaching out, letting people know in advance opening and where it is and why it's important. So in Grand Forks, you can't just write a letter to the editor. You have to have it be substantial. So what I'll do, and I did this for World Refugee Day, is we'll write a letter talking about refugees in general and then sneak a picnic in so that it gets another push somehow.
Yeah, so talk about World Refugee Day or some event that's very timely, and then also use the picnic as kind of a next step for people to be involved in a positive way.
Right. Well, in the September we might talk about, we're September for North Dakota will be a new fiscal year for refugees, so we might be updating them about what we expect for 2016/2017, and then get to know your newest neighbors, come to the community picnic.
Great. The background, how big is Grand Forks, and could you know a little bit about characteristics of Grand Forks?
You know, Greater Grand Forks area is about 60,000 right now. So 200 people at a picnic, we can do better than that, but that's better than what we had done in years past. So, I mean, we're a community that is a change. We've good support from the mayor. There's actually an immigration integration initiative, known as the III committee, that the mayor has convened, and one of the city council members is in charge of that. I'm hoping that we can reach out to them a little bit heavier and get those committee members to attend the picnic. We just last year, and a couple came, but certainly not as many that could come came. We do have great community support from the mayor's office, and we work closely with the mayor's assistant, the city council members, chairs this III committee, and follows our events, attends our events. Grand Forks is predominantly white. We have pretty strong Native American population, but still diversity is new to the community, and so we need to be working harder at helping community members to learn how to be welcoming. Does that?
Yeah, no, I think it gives people an idea of some things that they find in their own community, like slow to change and working on immigration and working on diversity. That helps a lot. Thanks. We'll talk about a few next steps folks can do. So just as a reminder, please sign up your event. I'm so glad you're interested, and the next step is to begin giving us some details of what your event will be like. So if you go to welcomingweek.org, you can put contact information and just as much detail as you have now. We're at end of June, so there are still several months before September that you can start sharing your details, and then the interactive map will be launching in the next 2 weeks, and you'll be able to see your event on the map, and it'll really help to show that this is a global campaign and being celebrated in far-off corners, even beyond the U.S. and our communities here. So it'd be great if you can put the details of your event by going to welcomingweek.org and signing up as a host. And then you'll be able to modify the details as you get closer. So if you'd like to add in an address, or if you want to add in a different contact information, you can modify those details by going to the portal. Once you sign up, you can get access to a high-resolution logo that says Welcoming Week, and then also some material you can use to advertise. So we have posters that you can put your own logo or event details on there, and there are other swag or free marketing materials that you can access there as well. We can use some pins that say Welcoming Week, or give you a template so that you can print out in your own local community. If you have, feel free to reach out to myself, and I'll put you in touch with Cynthia if you need, or you can also reach Susan. But it's been a pleasure talking with you today, and I look forward to seeing the great events coming up for this September. I think this is the end of our webinar.